I loved it. I thought it was beautiful how these two actors just sat in two chairs and talked. You should 100% see it.
Well, wait a minute.
So why is
he dies?
He dies. That's why
that's not according to what I saw.
Not according to the end, right? The end credit scene where because Jack says, "I thought you were dead," and Q says, "You're thinking too linearly" or something. So there's a way you can get around it. But I think it was a really well acted moment between John Delancey and Patrick Stewart. So I would just skip ahead, honestly, to the last 2 episodes of season 2, if you're not going to watch it, because I really do think the cameo and then John Delancey was fantastic.
I'm absolutely not going to do that. I don't care.
But wait, let me finish because I'm trying to convince you this is my take, and maybe this is maybe what we do is we pitch each other episode to episode, and someone is, if we convince each other. So you understand that the closing the loop on that trauma, and that's a very big deal. Okay. In that scene with Jack in the void, this collective, he talks about how he had been waiting in that vineyard to die alone, knowing that there was something missing and he didn't know what it was, but he was there waiting to die, which is true. That was season 1. And that at that moment in that void with Jack, he realizes that what he needed in his life to be vital, and that was his kids, to feel young again with his child, with his son. What does that harken back to, Trevor? Star Trek 2, the end of Star Trek 2 with Kirk and his son, where Spock is on the Genesis planet dead, and he says, I feel young again. Right, I feel alive. He's connected with his son, right? And that connection is what makes it.
That's a bit of a
in Star
stretch.
Trek 2, it was all about Kirk feeling old, right? Feeling old for his age, all this stuff. And what happens to make him feel young again? Spock dying? No. That there was this new life, and that he has this son now that he didn't know he had. And so the whole children make us feel young and vital, grounding us, and it's acknowledging the past and adding to it with this.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. So they thematically name checked Wrath of Khan.
I don't think it was. I'd be surprised if it was intentional. But I think it's there.
I don't think that makes it compelling. Listen, in my opinion, compelling characters have compelling stories, and I just didn't find anybody to be very compelling in this outside of the captain.
Well, Shaw, 7. What about 7 with her whole name, her identity?
7. Yeah, but these aren't the major players. These aren't the ones that are carrying the narrative.
Riker with his son and the thing with his son.
Nah, listen, the Frakes performance is excellent and the directing of episode 4, but even his story, I didn't care for. I cared about the captain. I liked him, and then I liked Worf's kind of newfound
pacifism, or not pacifism,
mindfulness and stuff like that.
That was cute.
They got some good laughs, some genuinely well earned laughs out of that. But I was kind of rolling my eye. I mean, listen, we talked about this before. I knew I hadn't even seen a trailer for Picard season 3. And I knew going into this, that they were going to bring Locutus back into this thing, because they always go back to that well.
Well, they needed to, but they again, the episode was called The Last Generation. It was it. It started with the next and ended with the last. That was it.
And when it happened, I just groaned. I was like, "Are you serious?"
I mean, there was a little bit of a logical, I thought First Contact
did it right, and.
But they were always still out there. Voyager released whatever they released. It's been a year since I saw it, and so they were always still out there. And this was the wrap up, and this is the wrap up of the character. He is linked to the Borg, and so they had to destroy the Borg to finish his story completely. And there's nothing left for Picard. I'd love to see more of him, but I don't think we need to. And I think until this was resolved and this came out the way it did, it was always going to be a hole. Is Kirk resolved? Though, I mean, the way he died under that bridge, is his character resolved? I don't think so.
Well, I've heard geeks tell me, "Oh, he's alive. He's in that Matrix thing."
Return. He's in the the ribbon.
And I'm like, what?
The Nexus, or the book that Nexus, he co-wrote supposedly with where he comes back because he's the Borg. Yeah, and there was there was when they went to the Daystrom Institute, there was the little James Kirk body, in that part. I mean. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Picard, I think they did right by closing him out this way.
I thought it was very disappointing.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were agreeing with me, and I'd won the episode.
No,
so the winner of the episode is Don. Episode 1 of No Win Scenario, winner Don.
No, well, hold on. I do want to say something positive about Picard Season 3 that you and I actually agree on. Something that I found to be very moving, very emotional, and something that I thought set a very high watermark for the entire franchise. That show has hands down the best Star Trek credit sequence. Every episode, no matter how, if I couldn't stand it or not, I always watch that credit sequence because it is so well designed. It is so artfully rendered. You're looking at a bunch of computer screens, and somehow it's insanely emotional. It's using specific cues.
Yeah, they're all Easter eggs,
and they're all hitting. And I'm just like, this
was great.
Is fantastic. Well, that credit sequence is superb. If you're not going to watch this show, I'm with you. You know what? I think you should. I think people should watch this show. I think they should.
I'm also sure you hate this, but I love the end when they are just playing cards and like they just let the cameras roll for 45 minutes or something.
I saw the initially, but it does make sense. It does make sense, and I didn't,
because that's what friends do. They have fun and they go to each other and they sit around and they play poker. I mean, like, have a friend, learn how it is.
You're a mess. How the show failed to move me emotionally and failed to make me feel like I was saying goodbye. That credit sequence did that. That credit sequence made me feel like, wow, this is it. Like, this is it. This is the end. I don't know how looking at a bunch of computer screens does that, but it was just so well done that was, I still felt I had the emotional experience of saying goodbye, to this TV, to a TV show. That credit sequence filled the emotional gap for me where the show didn't.
Well, with that, I think we are done with our first ever episode of No Win Scenario. So for hate mail to Trevor, for questions about Neon Genesis Evangelion Lily, wasn't she in Lost? We should talk about Lost one day.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yep. Disagree. I thought Lost was great. I even liked the ending. I know a lot of people hate it.
I don't like how there was this move in and around the turn of the 21st century, I should say, to always end sci-fi films with a religious bent. Battlestar Galactica kind of did that. Lost did that.
You and I liked Battlestar Galactica.
I like Battlestar Galactica. The end.
Yeah, we watched the finale together.
Did we? I have no memory.
Yeah. I went to your house and we watched it.
Oh, look at you getting out of your basement.
Yeah.
How's your cat?
She's great. She's sleeping right behind me.
There you go. Cat Lady Trevor.
Yeah.
But, a lot of these shows ended with, this sort of religious tilt to it that wasn't there earlier. So one of many reasons that Lost, I think, fell short in my book. It wasn't planned out, unlike Babylon 5, which was fully planned out and wonderful. So with that, email your questions, your thoughts, your comments to us at nowinscenariopodcast@gmail.com. That's nowinscenariopodcast@gmail.com. I am Don.
And I am Trevor.
Thanks for listening.
In today's world, mental health is everyone's concern. If you or someone you know is in crisis, please use these resources. For U.S. listeners, call 1-800-950-6264 or text Helpline, all one word, HELPLINE, to 62640. Or email helpline@nami.org. That's NAMI.org. For our international listeners, please visit suicidestop.com. That's SUICIDESTOP.com.